So it's time to install my LR bags and sound hole pickup. And so I came down here with my little Phillips screwdriver, and to my surprise, when I removed this screw, this whole piece came out. You can see it's like an expanding plug, and it is the perfect size, already drilled for my pickup. Awesome. Awesome. If I didn't have this phone in my hands right now taking this video, I would be clapping. It's a first. I have never seen a company prepare for a pickup before in advance of selling it. And this is just awesome. Thank you so much, Furch. Very thoughtful, and I'm telling you, so convenient. This is great. Doesn't get much easier than that. Perfect. Here it is. It's all ready to go. And got my sound hole pickup in there. That's the LR bags. And this is such a neat pickup, as you can see. And I have a video out on it if you're interested in a little more information about that pickup. And it went together really well. I mean, it's just amazing that they already. Somebody had said on one of my comments that theirs was already drilled, and when I looked at it, it didn't look like it was. But then when you pulled that out and saw that it was one of those expanding bits, or I don't know, they're like a plug. It's pretty neat. So I was just thrilled. But I thought today what I'd do is kind of talk a little bit about why would you want to buy a baritone guitar in the first place? You know, where does it shine? What does it have to offer? And this is from my perspective, because somebody else will come along and say, oh, but it can do this too. And they might have a totally different style that they would play. And so my way is not the highway. But on the other hand, I'd like to share what I think, where I think this shines, and why I wanted to get one. And then also I might share a few tips, the things that I'm kind of figuring out as I go along, as to, it's a whole different animal to a regular acoustic guitar. It's not the same. And so you have to, kind of think about what you're doing, and maybe change your approach a little bit differently. So why don't we just get started? Oh, but before we do, I have to remind you that on the 25th, we're going to have a live. I'm going to do a giveaway. We'll spend about 30 minutes, and I'm going to just open up for questions. I'll share with you any guitars you might want to see or talk about. And so that's going to happen on the 25th, except it's going to be in the morning, 9:30 in the morning, because it seems like I always have it in the evening. And so this gives some other people an opportunity to link on if they've never had been able to, because they were sleeping, whatever, they're working. So we'll see how this works out. You know, sometimes it's good to kind of change up a little bit. So I'm going to be doing that on the 25th. And then on the 24th, the day before, I have a membership page. And if you're part of that membership, one of the things that we're doing is we're meeting on Zoom. And what that allows us to do is actually see each other and have a discussion together as a group. And we met for the first time this last month, and it was awesome. I thought it went really well. We were a small group. There was only 6 of us. But there's room for more. Now, if it gets too big, it might not work. But right now, it works really well. And we did a show and tell this last time. Everybody brought their favorite guitar. And we might do something similar, except maybe bring in a new question like, what's your favorite music to play? Or how did you start playing guitar? Something. We'll bring something in to get the discussion going. And people usually will bring their favorite guitar. I know one of the subscribers is going to bring next time. I hope she does. I think it's called the Sinmo guitar that she has. So there's different things we're going to get to see. So if you're interested in that, you have to join the membership. It's not super expensive. You can go in on the low level if you want, and you're not going to miss a whole lot by doing that, but you'll be able to link in on the Zooms. And I think it's like $3 a month. So what's that, $30-something a year? And I know, you know, why do I have to, well, to begin with, I couldn't take on my whole channel. So keeping it down to the membership, really, it works. It kind of keeps it, you know, tame so that we can handle a group of people together talking. And then the other thing is this supports my channel. It helps me. So, all right. So that's the news. And the news from Lake Woebegone. Anyways, did you ever listen to him? I loved his music and his creative writing and skits and everything. It was so much fun. So anyways, well, we're not going to go there right now, but let's just get started on this. I feel like I'm rambling, and I want to be able to share with you a few things that I think this guitar shines. So the first thing is that I have not had an opportunity yet to play this guitar with someone else. But I do think that that's where it's going to shine. And well, I'm going to talk about tips in just a minute because I just heard a couple buzzes in my playing, and we're going to talk about that. That's player error. That's not guitar. Okay, so I've got a little learning curve here and some strengthening I need to do with my fingers. But we'll move into that in just a moment. So where does it shine? I think playing with others is one place this guitar is going to shine. But if you're not playing with other people, fine. Because if you're a finger picker, this guitar is so mellow. And you have to keep in mind that you've got heavier strings. You know, you got a longer neck. This is the scale on this thing is 27.95, I think, close to 28. That's like 2.5 inches from your standard guitar. So, you know, you're out here a little more. So you have that to contend with. You know, the distance from the frets are a little bit wider. You know, and the heavier gauge strings, and we're looking at 16 to 70 on the strings. You know, that right there, it creates a little bit of a challenge when finger picking. But what you could do is just get yourself a nice capo. Okay, here we go. We're going to bring this up here. All right, so I put the capo there on the 2nd fret. You see that? I might as well show the headstock while I'm at it. There it is, Furch. Okay, so in doing so, it's bringing it a little bit closer. It's making it more comfortable. And it just changes it just a little bit. Now, right now I'm plugged in, and we're hearing my pickup here. And, but see how I'm picking up a little bit of a buzz? If I don't pay attention and really, you know, focus on giving the right pressure on those strings, I can get a buzz. But if I pay attention and I focus, I can pull out a really beautiful, clean sound. right to a Grace Design pedal. Basically, it's a DI, and it has a high and low on it. That's it, and that's about the only channel adjustments you can make. Has the ability to mute it, and I can boost it as well. So that's sending the signal to my Bose S1 Pro, and I went into the setup of the Pro, and I told it that I was playing a bass, an active bass. Even though this is not, it's in between a regular guitar and a bass, I like the sound that it put out by doing that. So, so that's how I'm playing. Plus I have a microphone here. The microphone's for my voice, but I know it's picking up some of the guitar. In fact, let me mute the pedal, and this is what it sounds like in the mic. I mean, it's not that much different. Let me undo it. Oh, you can hear it though. But it doesn't distort it. I got a buzz there because I wasn't paying attention. But so finger picking, I think that's where it really, really shines. And but you know what? It does well with a strum as well, but you have to focus. I mean, if you come into this thing and you're just banging away on it like that, it's gonna bleed together. It's gonna sound muddy. But if you come at it with a focus, right now I'm playing strings 6, 5, and 4. I might be picking up the 3rd string a little bit. But you hear how nice that sounds? It sounds really good. That one that was sounding muddy a little bit sounds great. Excuse me, let me get a little bit of my tea here. Just a second. I'm back, and I'm drinking Smith's again. It's Smith's number 55. Bergamot. It's really good stuff. Anyway, so back to this here. So anyway, so if you're using a pick and you're strumming, what I do is I'll play down here, pick up some of the low notes, and then move up and maybe pick up some of the higher notes and then go back. But I'm focusing it just like I do when I play a 12 string. It's the same thing. Instead of trying to grab every string all at once, lighten up. Goes a long ways. But you know, that's true about music too. When you're playing it, sometimes, not always, but sometimes, you can get in the way of the music by just doing too much. So when you're strumming, try lightening up. Try even with your regular guitar. It sounds so much nicer when you just focus. Okay? All right. So we're kind of bleeding into some of the tips, but a strum works good. But the other thing is about the strum is you really have to pay attention to the pick. Now, right now, I'm using one of these pick boys. This one's, I think it's a 0.9. I'm not sure. I forgot what this is. I think it's a 0.9. And so I found the heavier picks work well on this. I have a 1.4 here. This was gifted to me by one of the subscribers. Difference in sound you get out of that pick versus this pick here. I don't know, it's close, but it's a heavier pick. If I go too light, let me find a light pick here. Here's a John Pierce. This is actually a vintage pick. But you get a click with it. Not because there's anything wrong with the pick. It's just so light that it's a lot of pick noise. If you turn it on its side, you probably eliminate a lot of it. There it is. Yeah, so that's sort of some things that you have to think about when you're playing a baritone guitar. And it's also, you know, an awesome guitar for strumming, for finger picking, for playing with others. It's just different. And so because it's different, you have to approach it differently. First of all, you need to understand that, you know, you've got this thing and it's tuned completely different from your regular guitar. Your regular guitar is E-A-D-G-B-E, right? Well, this one's not. It's B-E-A-D F# B. And so it's it's a fourth down from your standard guitar. In fact, what you have to do on this particular guitar to bring it into standard tuning is you have to take your capo and put it all the way up here on the 5th fret. And in doing so, you now have, does that sound familiar? E-A-D-G-B-E. And as a standard guitar, this sounds beautiful. Very pretty. So anyway, so you have to think about that. So that means if this guitar is B-E-A-D F# B, that means if you're playing in E, you play E chord here, that's actually a B, okay? And if you bar it at the 1st fret, that E, there's a C, because B to C is one fret up, right? And then if you go up 2 frets, there's D. And if you go up 2 frets, of course, that's where we had it capoed, there's your E. And E to F is 1 fret, there's your F. Okay, so this right here would be an A. I'm pretty sure, because right here would be the D, right? Because if you have this capoed and it's standard, then that has to be a D. So if you go backwards, you got C, and then C to B is 1 step, and then B to A. There you go. And so there, that would be an A chord there. So you have to figure it out. And once you do, it'll stay with you. If you think in terms of guitar shapes, you find your whatever key you're supposed to be in, and you think in terms of guitar shapes, you probably don't have to think about is that an A or B or a C. But some of you do need to know if you're looking at charts and things. So it's going to be different, and you have to think about it. Okay, so yeah. The other thing is the action on this, it doesn't feel the same as a standard guitar. First of all, I like my action, you know, when I buy a guitar, it's usually high. You know, it's the companies put them out high, okay? And I've been told by companies that they do that on purpose, because if they bring it down too low, somebody will come along and need to raise it. Well, it's a lot higher. It's harder to raise the action because it's harder to raise the action. So, you know, you have to do add-ons to the saddle. So that's one thing. But on the other hand, if you're starting from too high, it's easy to shave the saddle. So that's one thing. So they usually will come out not too high, but a little bit higher than usual, or on the high end of what's acceptable in terms of action. Commonly comes from the company. And this Furch, though, I have not changed it. I like the way they had it set. Usually for a standard guitar, for me, I like it set 0.085 inches here at the 12th fret. But with a baritone guitar, you're looking at upwards of 0.108, somewhere in there. Okay, so it's a lot higher than your standard guitar. So the action is higher, the gauge string is heavier, the feel of the string and the way it's spaced, you have to get used to. Thus, you end up a little bit of string buzz until you really get to playing it and get used to it. So it's a little harder to do a bar chord, but it's doable. This guitar is just beautiful, and it's to me, they did an outstanding job at setting this up. I have not touched it, although I know they have a double action neck here that you can adjust. It's a special neck. I forgot they called the CNR. I might be wrong. I'll put a note there if I am. But it's a special neck in the way that they have it braced on the inside with like an L shape. It's totally different. I'm also very happy that they already put the strap button on here so you don't have to mess with it, because of the fact they do have metal inside this that normally guitars don't have, and you don't want to be drilling and making changes or anything unless you know what's inside that neck. And so they have their own special neck, and it keeps it very, very secure and steady, straight. It's beautiful. It feels good. I couldn't be happier. I bought the lower end. This is the blue. You can buy the yellow and you move up the ladder with Furch. But I found no reason to spend more. I get great sound. It doesn't have a lot of fanciness on it. Did come with a nice pick guard and everything, which I am going to put on at some point. But yeah, I'm just very, very happy with it. And I played some other Furchs, and if I was to buy another Furch, I like to buy different now. I have so many beautiful instruments that, you know, when I get something, I want it to be different from anything else that I have. And just so happens they have a nylon string guitar that plays like a steel string. It's so beautiful. It played so well. I was at Klein's Guitar in Sacramento, California. I played one, and I almost walked out of the store with that thing. I couldn't spend more money. I'm retired. I have to eat, so so I didn't walk out with it, but it was very tempting. What an awesome, awesome instrument that was. It's their nylon string one. It's a hybrid. It's the way it's made. It feels just like you're playing an electric or a acoustic electric guitar. So, anyways, it was really nice. So I'm gonna leave it right there, and don't forget all the news of things that are going on with the lives and the Zooms. And I don't think there's anything else I want to share about this guitar. I'm just going to sit down tonight, just play it some more and enjoy it. I'm just having a grand old time with it. And I hope it helps you. I would suggest if you want something different, get a baritone, have some fun. But, you know, play them. Go out and play them. I tried to find some to play, but I didn't have very good luck with that. I got my hands on one at a guitar center, but 2 strings were broken, and you can see that video. It was pitiful, but that the guitar was not ready to play. But on the other hand, they had great prices there, and the guitar looked like it was in pretty good shape. It just needed strings and a little love. And let me just bring this up. This is tuned differently, and what I heard from them is that people pick up a baritone and they think it's tuned the same, and they try to tune it to standard tuning, and they break the strings, and that's probably why those strings were broken. And so you can't do that. This is a B string. It's low. So you don't want to be messing with it. You get a tuner out that's ready for a baritone, and get yourself set up. All right. So we're going to leave it right there, and I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are in this world.